Welcome to Community Pulse. I'm your host, Carmen Palmer. You may have noticed across the cities, nation, and world the increasing presence of the homeless population. But what is being done? Some say not enough. But fortunately for Rialto, we have business owners such as Julia and Bill Reasons who have gone above and beyond to ensure that the male population is reassimilated into mainstream society. Please join me in welcoming William Lewis, our guest today, manager of the home in San Bernardino, and also the store manager for Restore to Hope, which is a double entity piggybacking off of the home that has already been set up by Bill Reasons, correct?
Correct.
Now, 12 years ago, the home was established.
Yes.
Is that right? Now, I found it so interesting that Bill had said it was kind of his way of paying it forward for a life that he was able to reclaim.
Yes.
After making bad choices, perhaps for himself, and kind of wanted to just ensure that men knew that they have support within the community that he could offer from his own heart and from his own hard work to just give back and help other people to be maybe a guiding light to get back on track. Is that true?
Yes.
Wonderful. Yeah. Can you tell me a little bit about his story?
Well, he was doing prison ministry about 12 years ago, and he just, when he was going back into prisons to preach to the men, you know, about God and everything, he just noticed he kept seeing the same repeat offenders. And after the guys get out from being incarcerated, they all go back to their neighborhoods. And when you go back to your neighborhood, you try to get rehabilitated when you're in the system, and then when you go back to your neighborhood, usually your chances of getting rehabilitated aren't so great. So he wanted to give the guys a second option, because after he started changing his life, he himself got into a men's home, and he saw the difference that it gave men. And so he decided to, he had tore a couple tendons in his foot, you know, jumping on the trampoline with some of the youth from his church, and he decided, you know, while he had on his downtime, to why not open up a men's home, try and start something new.
Right, because he was in construction for a while, correct?
Yeah, he was doing cabinets.
So the injury kind of prompted him into this life of ministry.
Yes.
Which is beautiful. Going back in the conversation that I had with him yesterday, and in order for, I think, this interview to make an even bigger impact, they have to know the background story that he shared with me yesterday. And it was a life of drugs, drug abuse, and he felt that he had contributed to the delinquency of other people and possibly ruining their lives, correct?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of us have been there. We've all destroyed families. He himself, the way he saw himself, he was destroying families. And so after he opened this ministry, the main goal was to bring families back together. And what better way than to redirect the men that are supposed to be the head of the household, redirect them to impact their community and bring their family back together.
Tell me a little bit about your story. What brought you to the program, or what attracted you to Restore to Hope?
Well, I was living in East LA for a few years, and I just I'd moved there from Downey. I was you know, doing drugs all the time, just running amok, not doing anything productive, working seasonal jobs, but pretty much going nowhere in life. And when I was in East LA, pretty much my family had enough of it. I was on the streets for about a year and a half, and my mom and my stepdad, they had moved out to Fontana pretty much to get out of that lifestyle. And one day, a couple events happened, and it kind of was like a wake-up call for me. And I got on the phone, you know, finally I asked my mom for help, and she had known a gentleman that was in the home, because we do the food ministry at the Rock Church, the food distribution center. We help out there, and my mom knew a gentleman that was there, and he was in this home, so he gave her the number. She gave it to me, and then about a month later I was in the home. because I finally had enough and wanted to change my life and just find God.
So when you go into the home, what is it that's expected of you for your stay, if you will?
Pretty much everyone to pull their own weight. Everybody works. It also depends on the person's limitations. Honestly, us younger guys were held to a higher standard with work ethic wise, just because of how young we are. But everybody plays a role with everything that we do. I mean, we have guys that they help with like decoration, and other guys that move furniture and things like that.
So you're talking about within the home. Within the home, there's roles to be played in order for the home to function
Yes.
properly.
Yeah, like we have a landscaping business. We also do like handyman work on the side. We also do security events where we go as event staff, and certain guys can do that, others can't. Yeah, I mean, there's cleaning roles that have to be done, house maintenance in general.
So just like you would in society, everyone in the house has a certain role in order for things to function optimally.
Yes.
Great. Now, what is the commitment to each man going into the program as far as their sobriety, and how is that maintained?
Well, it's a year-long program. The guys that come in, we tell them there's no smoking cigarettes, no alcohol, no drug use, and you just we read the Bible every morning. We attend Bible studies, and we go to church every week.
Now, you know as well as I do that someone just saying that they're clean is not enough.
Right.
So is there something in place that kind of helps you to know where exactly they are? So if you suspect that someone is under the influence, what happens then?
We have a mouth swab drug test, and we also have a breathalyzer that we use. And if the guys start acting a little funny or out of character, then we approach them, talk to them about it. If they continue to act like they're not being truthful, we'll give them a mouth swab. And we have this little container. You do the mouth swab, you stick it in the container, you let it sit for about 10-15 minutes, and it shows if they're on any drugs.
So it's not a loose program. You still have a program that has criteria that need to be met so that you can actually be re-assimilated into society, right? So there's demands that have to be met within the house?
Yes.
Perfect. Because I think responsibility and accountability are such an important part of getting back into real life.
Yeah, I mean, we hold everybody accountable for their actions. I mean, we're not just going to sweep things under the rug, and we have guys that are court committed to us, and we hold them accountable for what they do. Like if they screw up, we take them back to court and make them tell the judge what they did.
Now, through the court process, how is it that you find these gentlemen to come into your program?
I get a call from probation, and then they tell us that they have a gentleman here that's with them. Either he's just getting out and needs a place to go, or he's in drug court with Commissioner Gilbert. And so we go to court. We'll meet the gentleman there. Either they're sitting on the bench, or we wait for them to be brought out. We'll interview them on the spot. Give them a contract, let them read over the contract, sign it if they want to join, and the judge will release them to us.
I know that Judge Gilbert has been actually given awards of commendation for his humanitarian effort in reassimilating men back into society, and just really trying to be that little glimmer of hope to let them know that they are not forgotten and they are not disregarded, but to give them the respect that each man requires in order to just prosper.
Yeah.
And such a beautiful, positive message. I was fortunate enough to attend an award ceremony a few years back on his behalf, so I absolutely believe in the work that he does. So I know that in order for him to refer anyone to your program, it must be a very patent program that he believes in.
Yeah, I mean, our program is built with structure. We make sure if the structure is weak, then we work on to make it stronger. And because we don't want to bring somebody in and have everybody pretty much lead them down the wrong path. We want to make sure we have good, strong guys that are strong in their word, just to build them up, not break them down.
Okay, now do you take people off the street instead of just the referrals from court?
Yes, we do. We help guys get off the street and get them cleaned up, introduce God into their life, and just show them ways to live their life responsibly, and instead of living their life, with destructive habits, teach them good habits to live by.
So instilling core values.
Yes.
Or reinstilling core values.
Yes.
Okay. Now, are you finding that some people they just lacked structure all the way around from time of childhood, or is it just a pattern that they happen to fall into?
Statistically wise, I mean, people that are raised with only a single parent, there's statistics of achieving aren't as greater as children with, they're brought up by both parents. Myself, I was part of that statistic years ago. I mean, I was brought up by a single parent. I mean, she did everything she could to have a strong foundation, but there was just I kept doing my own thing.
You needed another set of eyes from
another set of eyes.
Another set coming at you.
And so we try to. A lot of the guys that have been in the home, they just haven't had that type of father figure. So we try to instill that into their lives on how to act and pretty much just how to grow up, just because a lot of them, they might be in their mid-20s, but when we get them, they have like a mindset of a 15 or 16-year-old, just because of all the drug use and everything that they've done. They just haven't been held accountable for their actions, and they haven't had anybody to steer them in the right direction.
So they have a latent maturity.
Mm-hmm.
Right, I see. Well, definitely hats off to single moms everywhere, because it's such a tough job being a single parent. So by no means do we want to send a message that being a single parent doesn't work, because sometimes it's just a necessity.
Right. They have it rough, but I mean, hats off to them. They do everything in their power to make sure the kids fly straight.
Absolutely. I was a single mom for quite a few years before I met my husband, and I do. The thing I love about your program, however, is that we're teaching men how to break a cycle.
Correct.
Hopefully, so that they don't carry the same values that they were raised with into the families that they have, or just abandoning the children that they have.
Right.
They're working to strengthen the family unit, and that is so important.
It is.
Now, William, tell me about the store. How does it operate, and how does it reflect on the home that you run?
So our day every morning is, we come here around 8 o'clock, some days 7:30, just depending on the day, what we all have planned for that day. Immediately when we first come in, we have Bible study. Right after Bible study, we'll all get a cup of coffee. One guy, he'll cook breakfast, and the rest of us we all go and take sections throughout the store to either sweep and mop, straighten out the racks, or the clothing racks, or fill in whatever section in downstairs or upstairs needs to be fixed up, or more product needs to be put out. If furniture upstairs needs to be taken care of, like moved around or set up differently, a couple guys will come up here and do that.
Okay, now the employees are the men from the home as well?
Yes, everybody that works here, we're all in the home together. We're all volunteers. Technically, like all the proceeds they go to the home to keep our doors open, and all the proceeds they go to help the guys with whatever they need, either with schooling, medical, dental, eye care, all that.
Now, one thing that I forgot to mention in my conversation with Bill from yesterday was he talked about a savings plan.
Yeah, a couple of the leadership gentlemen, myself included, Bill has set up savings accounts for us, so that because of all the hard work that we do, he just wants to set something up for us for when we do leave the home, that we're not leaving with nothing. We're aside from getting fed the word, we have something like startup, something to fall back on.
You have a way to feed yourself.
Yes.
That is great. And what is the length of time that you can spend in the home?
It's a year-long program, but some guys, they stay a little longer. Like myself, I've been here 2.5 years. I've been running the home for about 2 years and 4 months. Some of the guys, one guy's been here about 10 years. He was actually the third guy in the program, so he's been here about going on 12 years. He's been here ever since. And other guys have, been here a couple years.
if people want to make donations to Restore to help the thrift store so that you can use that for resale, are there certain hours that you collect, or are there certain items that you don't collect?
Pretty much everything that we do take is with their donations is anything that we can resell. Like if it's usually if the clothing or anything is like stained or torn or anything like that, we can't use it. So we'll have to take care of it in other means. Either donate it to one of those boxes that you put clothing in, or sometimes we have to throw it away if it's too bad to do anything with.
But you do have enough walking in the door and purchases to help the home survive.
Yes.
Is this your only location as far as a thrift store?
Yes, for now, yes. I mean, we were looking to broaden our store out to another location, but it wasn't God's timing for us. So for now, we're here.
Now, I know that the owner has also been very complimentary as to the way he's been embraced by the Rialto residents. Can you enlighten us?
Yeah, the owner, he's been nothing but good to us, especially the community around here. He told us this was a good community when we first came over here, because before we opened up, we play racquetball down at the Racquetball and Fitness Center, and we were driving over there one day, and we saw this place that was for lease, and because we were trying to open up in San Bernardino before, but San Bernardino, they didn't want any more thrift stores. So we were driving by, we saw this place for lease, so we called him up, and he was all for it, and he said it was a good community, and I mean, this community's just blessed us from day one. They've just everyone's real friendly, all up and down the block, all of our neighbors that we work with.
Well, I know I've picked up a few really heavy tables from you that are great additions to our decor. But thank you so much for everything that you have done to be in the community and to be a positive influence on other men. Your age is a tough demographic, because at your age they still haven't been ready to break away from the cycles that they have, because I think when we're still in that 20s thing, we think we're going to live forever.
Yeah.
So what do you do? What is your advice to men that are still living the
destructive lifestyle?
The destructive lifestyle, yes.
You're not going to live forever. I mean, the devil's going to take back everything that he's ever given you. And my advice is just don't give up hope. If you think nobody's out there that wants to help you, your family might not want you around now, but get your life together, they'll want you around. Because I was in that same predicament. I thought I had, nowhere to turn. My family didn't want me around. I was just, leading further and further down, and then God gave me a slap to the face and said, "Hey, I'm still here," and he's helped me come up from the slumps and actually be, productive.
What is the overall message of the home and the store?
Just to redirect men to impact their community. That's our main thing that we want to do. And on our door down front, we have Ephesians 4:28. Let him who stole steal no more, rather do good work and to give back to those who need. And we just want to, instead of crippling people, we want to help people.
Beautiful. How has your relationship changed with your family?
Oh man, it's done a complete 180. At one point, nobody was answering phone calls or letters or anything like that. Nobody wanted me around, and now I talk to my mom almost every day now. And ever since I started doing good, and my sisters and them, they want me in their lives, and my nephews' lives, and my mom wants me in her life all the time, and it's been a major blessing.
What are the store hours?
Store hours are Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Fridays we're open until 7 p.m. and Sundays we open up at 12 to 6.
Oh, you're open on Sundays?
Yes.
I never knew that. If someone were interested in getting a hold of you to speak about the program because they want to refer someone, what number do they call, or where do they go to get information?
You can either go down to the store itself, or you can give me a call personally. My number is 909-838-1971, and give me a call anytime. And then the store number, if you want to call the store, it's 909-562-7567.
To reiterate, the home is in San Bernardino.
Yes.
And it holds up to how many
We can have up
people
to
at a time?
anywhere from 16 to 18 men. I mean, at the moment right now we have 9, so beds are available for people who want to change their lives.
That is great. And thank you so much for all of the hard work that you've put into not only influencing other people's lives, but into changing yours, because you will go forward to be such a big difference to someone and just be a great example of how young men should be.
It's all honor and glory goes to God. I mean, He's the one that touched my life and just made me want to be a better man myself. So it's all up to Him.
Did you try other programs before you tried this?
No, I didn't know what a men's program was until I came out here. I didn't know what I was getting into. I thought it was only like a 30-day program or something like that. That's all I'd ever heard about, and changed my life completely.
Now, have you ever seen someone go into the program that you thought maybe they're not going to make it? This is not going to work for them, or go in saying, yeah, I'm ready to change, but deep down they're not ready for a change. They're just looking for a place to crash for the night.
Yeah.
How do you handle situations like that?
I mean, I've had that situation happen a few times. A lot of guys come in, they want to get healthy and get out of the cold for a couple months, and then they end up leaving. But I mean, we don't treat them any different. I mean, sometimes, like in the pit of my stomach, I'll know somebody's not going to stay for the full year, but I try and help them, just to show them a better way of life than from what they were doing before.
If they fall out of the program, is there any way for them to get back in, or is it a little bit more difficult?
Well, no, like if they leave, to leave on good terms, and they just weren't causing problems all the time or anything like that, or fighting and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, we let them come back, but usually if they leave a second time, on their own accord, we usually help them look for another program after that if they want to get back into a program, because we can't have guys leaving and coming back all the time. That's not how the program works.
It's not a revolving door.
Mm-hmm.
For whenever they just need a place to
Yeah.
crash. And it's not specific to San Bernardino residents or Rialto residents, correct? You'll take
Correct.
anyone who's willing to change their life.
Anybody who's willing to change. I mean, they took me in from East LA. I mean, we take guys in from Pomona, Big Bear, Rancho, Redlands, pretty much all over. We even had a guy in here from Victorville. And we've had guys from Palm Springs, wherever they are, if they want to change, I mean, we're here.
Was a big part of the program actually working for you based on the fact that you had to leave the environment that you were in, you had to leave East LA?
Yeah, I mean...
Is it too easy to fall right back into the same crowd?
Yeah,
on just a whim?
Yeah, it's way too easy. I mean, if you go into a program in your area, you know that area like the back of your hand. I mean, you know where all the spots are. So it just takes you to be like, oh, I'm going to go on a pass with my family, and you go screw up instead.
Okay, well, thank you so much for all of the information that you gave us. I know that there is someone listening that either knows someone who needs the help or needs the help themselves. So on behalf of Community Pulse on Rialto Network, thank you so much for the work that you do. Okay. And hopefully we can get some good support in the store so that your program can flourish and maybe expand someday. So come back when that does happen, and share with us where the program is and its success.
Definitely. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Community Pulse. I'm your host, Carmen Palmer. Now go forward and make a difference.